Perfect. Great. So as I say, my name is Chris Greener. I'm a project officer working for Devon County Council, working as part of the Southwest Energy Partnership and assisting to implement a variety of low carbon projects across the region. One of which is to look at how to effectively kind of tackle the domestic retrofit question for the county. So one project we are currently working on or currently looking at is a domestic retrofit scheme for the able and willing to pay market, which I'll kind of be introducing over the next kind of 10 to 15 minutes. And at the end of it, obviously, I'll try to my best to answer any questions that you may have at the end of the presentation. So what is the scale of the problem we have in order what we need to do in order to tackle the nation's kind of energy reduction goals? Obviously, there's 27 million homes in the UK, with a huge amount that's actually in Devon. So 2% of those, about 540,000 in Devon alone, which is a pretty substantial amount. And of these 540,000, there's a vast percentage that is lacking in energy efficiency, resulting in homes being cold in the winter, hot in the summer, and generally kind of costing more in energy bills than they should. Obviously, apart from kind of new builds, which are built to modern building regulations, older houses especially have kind of energy efficiency issues. Like personally, for myself, I've recently moved into a home which is about kind of 90 to 100 years old. It's a terrace house on a very kind of long street, and it's had some quite significant problems in terms of heating and heat loss, which we've kind of slowly been tackling since we've moved in, and now we are not alone in the county. So, I mean, as Doug kind of briefly mentioned earlier, lots of people are looking to improve their homes, whether they're looking to kind of put in new bathrooms, converting lofts, adding kind of extensions. So what people might not kind of realise is that they can actually solve some of their other problems at the same time whilst they're undertaking these additional works. So currently, at the moment, there are a number of kind of government schemes that have that are out at the moment that have been done in the past, but the majority of them are just to help the fuel poor, which is actually quite rightly to do, to be able to kind of help and assist the most vulnerable of our society. So what we need to kind of look at is how can we look at assisting the rest of the population in making the properties more energy efficient and help kind of, us as a society kind of reduce our overall carbon consumption. So what we are looking at, obviously, looking at implementing kind of Action B6, which is establishing a Devon-wide energy advice service in our interim Devon Carbon Plan. Our idea is to work kind of collaboratively with community energy groups and other local authorities to kind of create this Devon-wide energy service, looking at kind of tackling the retrofitting of people's homes. And the aim of it is to be able to tackle this effectively. What we could do is develop a scheme that kind of brings everyone together, looking at kind of advocates such as community energy groups, specialist practitioners such as retrofit installers and designers, and bring them all together in order to, as partners, to help the public solve Devon's energy issues. So what could the service offer to the public? I mean, what we could do is to kind of develop this kind of full end-to-end service. So effectively a one-stop shop for everyone's needs, kind of supporting their needs for retrofit from the very beginning. So people have a kind of initial idea, want to kind of test the waters, want to find out a little bit more information about retrofit, what kind of, how they can kind of reduce on their energy kind of consumptions, how they can better make their home more energy efficient. So all the way through to finishing off the measures to be able to kind of enjoy and reap the benefit from whatever works has been installed. I mean, so what could this look like and what areas could it cover? So originally it's going to be kind of the initial energy advice so as I've mentioned that. So if people want to initially kind of find out, if you know a little bit more information about it, or if you want to find out more information about energy consumption, reducing energy levels, about kind of how making your home more energy efficient, then it's basically an initial advice service, which will be kind of free of charge for anyone to ring up and call. We'll potentially also kind of have a website with a multitude of information on it for people to access very easily. And then from that initial kind of energy advice, we can look at if people want to go further and want to explore the retrofitting of their homes and to make them more energy efficient. We could arrange home assessments to be undertaken by specialist kind of retrofit assessors, which will come to your homes, do a full measurements of the properties and look at kind of energy consumptions and how what recommendations that they can make. So with all the measurements that they would be able to kind of take within people's homes, we could then kind of produce a detailed report on current energy consumptions, what our recommendations are, potential measures that you can do if you want to do the whole house retrofit to make your home super energy efficient, or if you want to do kind of bit by bit, what would work well, whether you want to do just one single measure, what effect that would have on energy consumption and cost of energy saved, and whether you can do it, say, one single measure, whole house, or whether you want to do it bit by bit, and what stages that you can be at. And then from there, from the report, and obviously going through kind of the report, if you want to continue down the retrofit measure, if you want to go ahead and get some of those measures installed, then obviously we can assist you with hiring kind of trusted contractors from a potential kind of network. So you can look at whatever measure you want to install, whether it's kind of new windows, cavity walls, external wall insulation, loft insulation, etc. We will be able to say these are the contractors that are good, that are local, and these are the ones that kind of we would recommend for you, that are kind of tried and trusted, to be able to give you kind of confidence to be able to pick them from. And then from there, obviously, kind of quality checking is a big issue that we would like to kind of solve, to make sure the all measures that are installed are going to be quality checked. So what we could provide is a full quality check at the beginning of the measures, obviously giving you kind of tried and trusted contractors whilst the measures are being installed, whatever they are, to be able to kind of oversee them, to make sure that they are done to the correct standards, and then finalize, just to be able to kind of sign off to say the measures are installed correctly, and make sure that you are happy with all the service that you've done. So kind of a full end-to-end one-stop service, offering all the kind of your retrofit and energy consumption needs. So now we're going to be looking at the Retrofit Coordinator. So with new retrofit regulations, there is a relatively new role that's been introduced to kind of help facilitate the retrofit project. So the Retrofit Coordinator is in such kind of a project coordinator for your for the measures that you want to do on your home. So I mean, every job, large or small, would have an appointed retrofit coordinator who's there to kind of understand and meet your needs. I mean, their role, they've got a multitude of roles, but their main kind of roles is kind of provide you energy advice, be there on hand to kind of guide you through the process, to give kind of guidance and explanation on your home and the home assessment report, which is undertaken. To always be on hand to explain and analyze the analysis and options in ways that are easy to understand, so you don't get kind of bogged down in jargon. So if for example the energy report is produced, might be quite a substantial document, they can kind of cut through all the waffle and say this is the most important, that means that, this means this is what your home could be if you undertook these kind of specific measures. It's also going to provide you with the assistance in kind of getting the right contractors for the job. So again, depending on what you want to undertake, they can assist you with getting the correct contractors to basically undertake the works. And then kind of making sure it's all installed all well. So one of their roles specifically is that kind of quality assurance, to kind of double check that everything is kind of installed well, that you're happy with it, and that the measures are actually kind of effectively installed. So basically, this approach kind of provides like the information to the householder that needs to be able to make their home kind of fit for the future. I said, even if the work is to be tackled piece by piece over a prolonged period of time, so you can choose kind of the right path forward for yourselves. I mean, working with a retrofit coordinator on each job always kind of ensures that we are on the customer side, so we're not everything is kind of chosen by you, and we are there they are there to specifically kind of give you advice and guidance. So looking at kind of practitioners as well. So what we would like to offer, or what we could offer, is kind of create a network of experienced and trusted practitioners. These kind of be retrofit designers and installers, depending on the specific kind of type of measure, to be able to kind of offer or suggest to homeowners. All these trusted practitioners would be working to our very kind of high standards that we would have, and they could also have the potential, or we could also have the potential to kind of provide them additional kind of training and job management tools to be able to kind of upskill the local business industry. What we could do is kind of have a minimum knowledge kind of requirements of knowledge, training and experience in order to be meet this kind of standards to be able to on our network, and this could actually drive up standards and confidence in hiring people to undertake specific retrofit works. I mean, why? So obviously we want to kind of give homeowners confidence in ensuring that they are getting the right kind of quality installers for the right kind of prices to be able to install their work, so people have kind of confidence in undertaking works that they might not specifically be too knowledgeable about. So looking at a kind of collaborative approach, I mean, why a collaborative approach to begin with? Why isn't just Devon County Council just doing this on their own? I mean, so in order to establish this energy advice service for Devon, a kind of a collaboration is needed because it's going to be quite a sizable service. I mean, community agent organisations and groups they have vast knowledge, expertise, and resources in domestic energy. They've also been on the front lines for energy advice, kind of getting out and speaking to the public, developing those relationships and understanding kind of needs, motivations, challenges that can be present for people when considering like energy efficiency and retrofitting properties. It's also kind of be able to work to a kind of a high standard and have kind of consistency across the county, so we can kind of develop set processes and have specific ways of working that can be implemented kind of quickly and efficiently across Devon. And also kind of by bringing people together that all have an interest in improving the performance of homes from whatever angle they come over, and have a tried and tested structure. I mean, everyone's given a chance of doing what they're best at. So looking at the domestic retrofit kind of pilot scheme that we are wanting to implement. So I said that, so Devon County Council and community energy organisations basically working together. At the moment, it's just in the kind of discussion phase. We are kind of testing the waters. We are doing kind of lots of research into how this could potentially look, and how we can work together, and what kind of structure it would look like, and how we can offer it to the people of Devon. We aim to have a service launched by the end of the year, whether it's kind of just a pilot scheme to begin with, before we understands that what challenges it could have on the ground once it's been launched, and how we can improve it before potentially kind of launching it county-wide. But what we would like you to consider and to think about, what we would like to kind of hear from the Assembly members today, was a few questions. Right? The majority one is how useful you think this service would be to you. Also, what you think the service needs to offer in order to help Devon respond to the huge challenge of retrofitting the vast majority of these 540,000 homes, and also kind of how it should be led. Should it be fully county council led? Should it be led by the community groups? Should it be a kind of collaboration? I mean, do the community groups add value to the scheme, or should Devon County Council provide a more kind of active role in offering the service? So these are kind of the questions that we'd like to kind of consider today. Okay, thank you for listening. So that is my email address. So if you do have, following on from this assembly, if you do have any further questions or queries, please don't hesitate to drop me an email.
Great, thank you very much, Chris.